I was in Goblin mode that whole day, and it was just
It was your Tourette.
I had no fucking. I had that whole day. I just felt like
Not the whole day.
no after the Rebecca Black part, for some reason, I was in full Goblin mode, and like sometimes I get like that.
I don't know that you should go past 3 hours because that was the 4th hour.
Oh, interesting.
It does. There's something to that.
There's some science there, right?
Tell me if you think I saw what I thought was a fairly insightful comment on Reddit about it, which is that with the conversation with Rebecca Black, because her story is kind of messed up, everything that happened to her and traumatic and everything, you were being very careful in that conversation, and that there was like a rubber band effect. Like once she left, you were like freed, and you went 180 in the other direction of just full Goblin mode.
To be honest with you, I do think that has something to do with it. I also think that I have an impulsivity problem with that's related to my Tourette's, which I am now discovering I can actually use that as an excuse. Look at this comment. Dan, why didn't we wrap up after the interview? We still have to get canceled.
Exactly.
I'm doing a lot better than I used to in general. I think there's a maturity that I think I've achieved a certain maturity in terms of like when I fuck up, I'm not getting defensive, and I'm like understanding and confronting what I've done. Okay. But at the same time, so in that part, I think I've matured. And you remember, Dan, there was times when, because you've been with us so long, where I would get into shit, and I usually got defensive, and then it would make everything worse. I don't know if you remember that stuff like that.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. As you were saying that, I was raising my eyebrow a little bit about because just on the front end of getting into the shit in the first place.
That's the problem.
Right. But I agree that the aftermath and the acceptance of fault and sort of the reflection part has massively improved over the years.
Yes.
You've definitely grown up on that.
Okay, good. Thank you for co-signing that. So yeah, in one way I have matured, but on the other time, it's like I don't want to compromise what makes this show special to me.
I know what you mean.
I don't want to second guess myself all the time. Because, you know what I mean? And as bad as that may sound, to me, the minute that I start second guessing myself, then the show is not going to be as good or special. And if I fuck up, I apologize to her. I says, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry. But at the same time, I can't fucking hamstring myself. Yeah, we need the kill switch.
I know exactly what you mean.
Thank you.
It's coming.
I go to that other side of becoming so self-aware of what everybody's going to say, going to think, how they're going to perceive it, that I almost like become just not even myself, or I just don't talk, or I just don't say anything, because all I hear in my head is just the thoughts of what I'm going to see people saying, what they're going to think, what they're saying in the chat, with all this stuff. It's like it kind of takes over your own thought, and you're just stuck in that mode.
Totally.
And you can't do a show like that.
No. And I've been in that place before, and it's not a good place to be. And so, like, I think the important part is when you fuck up to acknowledge it and apologize, right? But at the same time, I gotta go Goblin mode sometimes. I gotta go Goblin mode.
I mean, a lot of the Goblin mode moments are the funniest moments on the show.
Exactly. So I can't, you know what I mean? You can't pick and choose, because there's a lot of fans who are like, on one hand, oh, it's so funny. Sometimes, oh, he's so out of pocket. It's so funny. Ethan's in Goblin mode, and they love it.
Yeah.
But then when it goes too far, and by the way, my ratio is pretty good. Like, I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to 1 too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
Well, demon mode maybe is different.
Watch that demon die.
Well, what do you call what?
Demon mode is like the
NRA.
2 strike incidents last year. That's demon mode.
So wait,
that's a step beyond Goblin mode.
Okay, all right. So what mode am I in then when I, for example, did that to Cutie Cinderella?
Yeah,
Goblin gone wrong.
That's Goblin.
Yeah, that's Goblin mode.
Goblin's gone wrong.
Goblin gone wrong for sure.
So I don't know. You know what I mean? So like my ratio is pretty good so far.